I'm gonna ask Seth, is he ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Over 4 months ago, here on the channel at Tech Yes City, we had a young gentleman by the name of Seth. He came around and he said to me, look, my PC is giving me so many problems. I cannot play Fortnite properly. In clutch situations, I'm losing games because my FPS is dipping really low. And then I took a look at his machine and I said, look, there's a few things we can do. We can try upgrade this PC, or I can just give you another PC on the spot and we fix up the difference. And so what I did for him then was I did him a 4th gen i7 at the time with two 8GB sticks of DDR3 to make dual channel and a GTX 1660 Super. And since he has taken that PC, and you might be thinking, well, he went from 8th gen to 4th gen, how's that considered an upgrade? Believe it or not, the 4th gen CPUs are still pretty good, but it's mainly due to the fact that the Acer Nitro 50 was just so bad. With a single stick of DDR4 memory, no options in the BIOS to even tune that memory, and it just ended up being a much better option for him. Now here's the crux of this video. He's been really happy with this machine over the last 4 months, and he's actually told me he's started winning Fortnite tournaments now, and with that, winning money. And so now it's become a serious deal for him, where he needs the absolute best FPS possible, the best tune on this machine, and of course a 240Hz monitor. This is where these things matter the most when it comes to pro level and it comes to playing for money. And so he came to the Yes Man for the advice. And so today we're gonna run through his old PC and what he's upgrading to, and then tune this thing up and see how good of an upgrade this machine is for him. Let's roll that intro. If you are sick and tired of seeing a Windows needs activation message in your bottom right hand corner, then today's video sponsor SCD Keys has you covered. For as little as $13 US using the coupon code TYC on checkout, you can get yourself a Windows 10 Pro single end OEM user license. Links in the description below. So now it's the next day and I'm joined by Seth, and he's like, I'm not that short, okay? He's 6'7", so he's really tall. So we're about to now, we got this PC right here, and we're now going to quickly clean it down, which is something I always do when PCs come through here. But I'm also going to now upgrade the system, and we'll quickly go over the components. I'm gonna ask Seth, is he ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So here is your new PC. What do you think so far?
It's pretty crazy. I can't wait to test it out. And yeah.
Sweet, let's get into it. So basically, Seth, what is it you do on Fortnite at the moment?
I play a lot of scrims. I just practice to get better, pretty much, and yeah.
Okay, so for the viewers out there, I actually don't even know what a scrim is because I don't play Fortnite that much. What is a scrim exactly?
100 players load into the same lobby, and it's just really competitive, and yeah, just try and win. It's for the best practice for tournaments.
How does that differ from say a pub game where you just log in solo?
A lot of people try a lot harder in scrims, definitely. Pub games, people don't take that seriously, but scrims are for like the elite, I guess you could say.
Okay, so that's where people just keep building up and up and up.
Yeah.
Okay, see in pub games, it's more like when I've won a pub game before, and it's just been me sitting on the ground, and then some dude's jumped into me, and I've won.
Yeah.
Okay, so it differs a lot from that.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, cool, man. So basically, we upgraded from the Acer, which was terribly tuned. We went to a 4770, a 1660 Super, but now you feel like you've outgrown that, yeah?
Yeah.
And so what was the problem with that PC at this point in time before we upgraded now?
I was getting a lot of FPS drops. Endgame, in the later stages of the game, my FPS was going down to about 70, which is extremely hard to play on when you're trying to play on like the best of the best.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And that's fair enough. Like, there's only so much you can do out of, say, a 4770 on a budget. So this is now marking a 9900K. You can't get any better. So your opponents, if they're beating you now because they've got better skill.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's fire this thing up and see what Seth can pull off.
Maybe put it the other way around.
So now we are finished up with this PC that Seth has got, and how are you feeling about this PC?
Pretty excited, yeah.
So you're now getting double the FPS in those situations,
Yeah, I am.
and that's going to make you play better.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so that was the most important thing. Now Seth can go into this, and the gear is not going to be holding him back whatsoever. So I think that's one thing that I've always been passionate about here on the channel, is getting the most and giving the most to pro players. So when you see the input latency testing we do here, when you see getting out those differences, they don't matter to me personally, but I know how they can matter to some people who want to start winning tournaments and want to be the best at this sport. Anyhow, with all that out of the way, I am going to be monitoring Seth closely now and seeing how he evolves, because he went from a, I would say, terrible Acer Nitro 50.
Yeah.
He went to a Tech Yes loved price performance gaming PC. Now he's gone to the best of the best in the CPU side of things, and the GPU, as we said before, doesn't matter a whole lot in Fortnite. So this going forward, I hope you enjoy your new PC.
Thank you.
The upgraded PC, and I'm going to monitor him closely, and who knows, something may come out of this. You may see a new gaming brand called the Yes Crew. So Seth has now collected his computer, he's gone home a happy chappy, and this really relates to the whole path of pro gaming and this video you're seeing here. And that is that Seth was able to get into CPL, which is the league that have really good players in it. And he was able to get into that by, I guess, with a price performance budget used banger. And that's what it's all about, is you can get into that level of play and know that you need more. And if you need more, then you can spend more. And so what we did in this video was, I guess, that we proved that, hey, if you've got a mediocre computer with an i7 4th gen, 16 gig of RAM, and just say a GTX 1060 or something like that, you don't have to go out and spend all this money on 9900K or go get a 240 hertz monitor or go get the best final mouse in the world to know that you've got the talent. That talent's gonna be there. That talent's going to exist regardless of the gear you're on. But of course, if you find yourself then starting to play in these tournaments where your competitors have all this stuff and you're at that top 1% of the crew, then you're gonna know that you're gonna need that better gear. And so that's when it's justified, I feel, for getting the most out of your gear. Now, of course, we saw with the 9900K that we whacked in and upgraded for him that he was now getting a much smoother experience. He was just smiling the whole time. He was super excited, super happy that he's now able to compete at this level with the best gear around town. So super excited to do this upgrade for him. I love seeing these young guys come up, and I love using that knowledge that I've built up over the years to get him the best settings, get him the best FPS, and of course make sure that his competitors now don't have an advantage. If anything, he'll have the advantage over his competitors because we've got all the right settings. We've tuned up his system too to be able to go max FPS to the rim. Anyhow, with that aside, if you guys enjoyed today's video, then be sure to hit that like button. And going forward from here on in, is there going to be a Tech Yes version of a gaming label? I'm really thinking about it. I really want to get into more the esports tech side of things, bringing these players up, showing them that discipline and hard work can set you above the rest. Not just the hardware and the gear, but also everything up here is important in order to be number one. But basically with pro gaming was when I was coming up as a teenager, I was pro at StarCraft Brood War, but there was no money in it. Literally, I was emailing sponsors, trying to get anyone I could to jump on board, and people just looked at you and they literally laughed. And you can ask anyone back in the new millennia if they were coming up in Australia trying to get into pro gaming, there was just no money in it whatsoever. Fast forward to 2020 and esports, and especially games like Fortnite, it has so much money in it. It's what everyone's doing. Everyone's into it. And I'd say it has a much bigger player base. Even a game like Fortnite has a much bigger audience reach than certain games in Australia like rugby and also AFL. That's how big this kind of sport is now. And it's just the future, I feel. And I basically feel like these guys have come to me because we've also got someone else who's come to me recently, and that's probably another video in the works as well. I feel like these guys have come to me for a reason. Maybe fate has it that we're meant to make this gaming label and show the world what the power of yes is capable of. And if you guys have stayed this far and you're enjoying that content, then be sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell to get it the moment it drops in your sub box. But we've also got the question of the day before I get on out of here. It comes from Pat Davis, and they asked, this is totally unrelated, so it's on a different video, I'll put the link up here, but have you had any experience with Antec power supplies? Will it be reliable and not catch on fire? And so basically, if you're building a computer, Antec are a builder of power supplies, and they make really good power supplies. At least in the literally hundreds of power supplies I've gone through, a lot of them have been Antecs, and I've never had one problem with a Antec power supply personally, though I have read of a story in the US where a bad batch went through and they had bad soldering and they caught on fire. Honestly, I say if the Antec power supply hasn't caught fire by now, then it's good to go going into the future. Hope that answers that question, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out for now. Bye.